are the qualifications of a Rishi. And here, in our Dharma Shastra Granthas, 4 qualifications are essential for a Rishi. One is Vidya, the second one is Satya, and then the third one is Tapaha, and the fourth one is Shruti. These 4 make a person a Rishi. Vidya is first essential thing. What is Vidya? That Vidya is not the Vidya which helps us in earning our food, but the ultimate Vidya, particularly the knowledge which was there in the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, and other such texts. Moksha Shastra it is called. When we see it is the first characteristic of Rishi, this Vidya, how should it help him? Yesterday we were telling that 4 Purusharthas are there. Purushartha means human objectives. The objectives of a life as a human being. Deliver their duties. As a human being, as a father, as a son, as a brother, as a friend, as an administrator, as a person in society, like that, the same person has n number of duties, hundreds of duties he has. One who performs all his duties, if he is interested and if he likes or if he loves to deliver his duties through all these portions he is accepting, then we say he is a dutiful person, duty-minded person, dharmic person, like that we can say. The second one is there. He always concentrates his mind on earning wealth. Earning wealth will be very important issue for him. Such a person is known as Arthajivi. First one is known as Dharmajivi. Second one is known as Arthajivi. To say in later terms, while our heart says lub dub, in Telugu we know money is equivalent of dub. That's why his heart starts beating like dub. So he doesn't have anything else. He earns and earns, keeps on earning throughout his life. Till his last breath, he keeps on earning only. He hesitates to spend, but he never hesitates to earn. Such a person is known as Arthajivi. Third person is there, he is Kamajivi. Father has earned a lot of money and son starts spending it. He spends money like water and he wants to get every desire of him satisfied with the money earned by father. That a person is known as Kamajivi. Dharma, Arthat and Kama, these are there. And fourth one is there, Moksha Jivi. Moksha is a very wonderful concept which releases us from the bondage of this birth. How? Everybody wants freedom. That freedom, ultimate freedom is called moksha. And at every minute we want freedom. If we are always bound, we are not free. Though we feel that we have freedom from 9:30 to 12:30 or 12 o'clock, as long as this session is there, we lost our freedom. We have committed to sit in the class. Always bound. We are always bound. We are always bound in this world by our own conditions. Certain times, sometimes by external conditions. Very long breath. Yes, I am free from my commitment of sitting in the class. It is interesting. We want to learn. We want to sit. We want to spend time here. After learning again, yes, my commitment to sit in the class is over now. I am free. That means I don't have freedom to this extent. So freedom, if it is given by others, whether by parents or whether by teachers, whether by friends or whether by any other person, if he says, I have given you full freedom, if he says full freedom is not given, that is not at all freedom. It is conditional movement to move freely in a particular area. It is a kind of arresting only. So largest area where we can move is the earth, at the edge of the earth. After that, we cannot move. So when, as long as we bear all these conditions, we cannot move. That is why freedom means a state where we can do anything, we can grow to any extent, we can meet anyone, not merely under the roof of the sky, even beyond the sky. If anything is there, we must be able to merge in it, to meet it, to deal with it. All these things, if we can do, then we can say we have freedom. A struggle or an attempt, an activity to get such freedom is moksha. Moksha from all worldly responsibilities. That is why that vidya which helps us to attain such a state, that is known as moksha vidya, that is known as Upanishad vidya, that is known as the other Brahma Sutra vidya and other things. That's why first quality of a rishi is to have that vidya. And after that, satyam. Always we must be able to speak truth only, even under adverse situations. Even in negative situations, we must have capacity to speak truth only, truth only, truth only. And the third one is tapaha. Yesterday I told you, tapas, penance. By doing penance or by performing tapas, one can become rishi. We have seen the story of Vishwamitra and many others. And fourth one is Shruti. Shruti is Vedic knowledge. Though Upanishads are a part of Shruti, this Shruti is separated from it. Here in this Shruti, the first three activities, Samhita, Mantra Bhaga, Brahmana, and Aranyakas, these are the three parts of Veda. And through these three parts of Veda, performing of sacrifices, that is Homa, Yajna, Yaga, all these rituals, performing this kind of rituals was assigned to it. Shruti has four steps in it. Not only Shruti, knowledge of any Shastra or any discipline of knowledge, it has 4 steps. First one is learning. Then whatever is learned, understanding it. And third one is putting it in practice. And fourth one is making others also to learn, to understand, to put it in practice. These 4 steps are known as Adhiti, Bodha, Acharana, and Prachara. These are required. A rishi has all these 4. He learns, he understands, he follows, he makes others to follow it. One who does all these 4 activities, we can say he is Shrutiman. Rishi knows his limitations, his abilities, his capabilities, his skills, his talents. All these things are there. That is why Rishi is different from us, Atmavan.